Young Reporters Disclaimer. Before we get started, a quick note. The views and opinions you'll hear on the Young Reporters are just those of the producers, our guests, and our friends, and don't represent the policies or official views of the J. Orin Edson Entrepreneurship Plus Innovation Institute. And remember, the Young Reporters podcast is for entertainment purposes only.
Matchmaker Communications 101, in collaboration with Arizona State University's Edson Entrepreneurship and Innovation Institute, presents The Young Reporters. The Young Reporters chase down ordinary people doing amazing things in the greater Phoenix community and beyond. These inner-city young journalists take their classroom on the air, a class about ethics, commitment, loyalty, and teamwork. When you're on The Young Reporters, be prepared to talk about things you never expected. And now, let's go into the classroom.
We're back in the classroom once again with the group that we did together last week, I guess. I have a hard time separating the weeks because we're doing 2 shows per day when we come in the studio, and today is August 19th, 2026. This is show number 2, Alan.
You're doing good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Well, and you did real good on the last show. And by the way, we left a major cliffhanger in show number 1 that I felt like I had to go back to for anybody who's worried about what we forgot to get to when Jennifer had to leave the studio. That was Jennifer Conrad. Is yes, her little rowboat that they stole in the middle of the night did sink in the pond, if I'm remembering the story right. And it's very hard to remember the show, right, Alan, until we watch the show again? It's very hard to remember the details. So anyway, she sunk in the pond, and the nuns put her in big trouble or something like that. And so it's a lesson, right, Aaron? It's a lesson. Don't take a canoe out in the middle of a lake if you don't know how to. And she didn't know how to swim, but she didn't drown, right?
Noted. Yeah.
Okay, good. So when you go out, this is like show number 2 of the Farewell to Aaron.
I'm loving all the advice. Keep it coming. I need it.
We're gonna jam as much advice. You got a whole bunch of surrogate parents in the studio here. Okay, so we got more. Everybody think of more college advice.
And Aaron,
okay?
Listen, there's nothing that says you can't tune in and watch when I post.
How did she do that?
On every show.
How did she do that?
That we can
just keep on giving me advice.
Giving you advice.
We'll make that a regular segment, the Advice to Aaron segment of each show. So how would she be able to listen to that on her?
CRradioshow.com.
Oh, CR, the letter CR, radio show.
Yeah, that's a website I started in 1929 for this show. It's the letter C, the letter R, radioshow.com. And I'll have Aaron's Corner. But nobody puts Aaron in the corner, but I'll have that. So it's for Aaron to have some advice.
You could probably create with AI that scares the heck out of people, I guess. Aaron, are you scared the heck out by AI? Is that?
I don't know, but
a little bit,
we'll see.
A little wary.
Having to keep it in the mind.
That came up in the last show that somebody was maybe it was Doug that caused that show about AI is a scary thing.
It's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, scary and not scary at the same time.
It's just uncertainty.
So it helps to have a microphone.
You say that again?
It's scary and not scary at the same time.
It's a healthy concern.
Yes.
We love Alan. Every once in a while, he forgets to hit a button for somebody's microphone. It's a rare experience, but we're honest about our screw ups, Alan. I mean, I screw up all the time, right? So
we're constantly, Bob, constantly.
Everything we do is organic.
Yeah.
There's nothing fabricated.
So when we fill up this wall back here, you can have a picture of Aaron diligently studying or something like that. You'll create some AI thing of Aaron's.
We'll make a point to have one Aaron recommendation as far as for each show. We'll ask of the collective.
Yeah.
Because we're all higher frequency,
learning people,
higher IQ. And we'll give the best advice
If you build a canoe in your dorm room, make sure it'll fit. when you
Yeah.
Make sure it
go out
doesn't
the
have a
door.
hole.
Yeah, make sure
And no holes
like
in
that. And you'll be the leader at Claremont. You'll get people's attention by saying, "Oh, I've got some new advice from my cohorts at the Young Reporter."
And it's going to make you so
I'm
popular.
gonna make so many friends.
She'll get the
Not
attention
me.
for all the wrong reasons.
It's
They'll
going to
be-
be a difference maker. You'll be like, everybody's leaving California right now. You'll be the person, Aaron, what is it about? Why did you come to California? They'll be saying, you must be something different if you came to California.
It'll be like ants on a picnic, like a stripe and a skunk.
Okay, the imagery is getting too much now, I think.
Man.
So okay, this is the show, by the way. This is a show about nothing that happens to be operating out of ASU Sky Song, the number one innovation university in the country.
You know what? They got good air conditioning.
Very good.
It's August.
It's very good to know, Elsie.
I'm looking outside. I
right,
can
we've
see
got-
the humidity outside. It's,
On our panel today, I'm Bob Fishman. We got Alan Repa, who's adding his sartorial, mean like funny, or sartorial dressing.
this is what I'm like when I'm
You are.
awake for the show.
You're on fire
you know.
today. You really are. When you're awake, it's really something. We've got Aaron Patterson, our going away, our sad day farewell to Aaron. Jennifer Conrad was here for show number 1. She's gone, so we can talk about Jennifer all we want on this show. Dr. Doug Morris, the best chiropractor in the Phoenix world, I
Oh
think.
boy,
probably, I know.
I'm flattered.
Okay, and then Tom Woodward, the best conversationalist that anybody's known to mankind, and then Joan Suzette Tillman, who's making her debut as the most entertaining person in the room.
Hey, excuse
Big responsibility.
me. You know what?
We're working on it, Joan. We're going to make it a goal today.
I just want to say, you got to join. You got to be careful of that because I was kicked out of a restaurant because I was too entertaining.
I
You're
remember
better
you telling
take-
me.
Yeah, they
Yes.
kicked me out. The
you're
manager
much too
walked me out and said, you come in here and you're entertaining our waitresses and stuff, and they're forgetting
And
about
they
their
banned
customers.
you from coming in again.
Yes, do not.
You were banned. You always like to pick on Trey Trusco when he comes to the studio because he self-banned himself from certain websites or something because he recognized that he was
But-
watching them too often, and so he had to put a self-filter on. But you always give him a hard time about it. You make him sound like he
Well, that's how I make myself feel better. So,
Pick on
but
Trey Trusco.
I was kicked out of a breakfast place. Like I got caught between the omelet and the country potatoes or something. But
Didn't we just hear this story a minute ago?
I didn't finish.
Oh, okay. Please finish.
I'm done.
That's what the people. That's what the manager of the restaurant told you. You're done.
That's right. That's-
Tom, this show has changed quite a bit since the last time you were on it, right?
It's gone downhill. Yeah, considerably.
All right. Well, Tom, at the end of the last show, or maybe it was during the break, you asked Aaron a question. I think it was after the show was over, and you asked a question of, I don't know how it came up about her
I was
sports
asking if
background,
any
right?
activities, sports, if she was involved with that.
And by the way, was that a potential to get a scholarship at Claremont with your sports acumen, or is that totally off the board?
It's D3, so you don't have scholarships at that level. You've got D1 and D2.
One of my nephews is he's playing baseball, and he just got accepted to, I think, a Division I school. But so he's on the community college route for a while. Tom, you're some of the spectacular baseball player. My brother's son is a very good pitcher, and but it's competitive. All this stuff is super competitive. Doc, you were talking about some of the people you see in your practice. So let's bring
Yeah.
this around to you. So you, in your practice, you have a sports medicine part of your practice, right? And so you become sort of a known entity in the professional sports world, or what?
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. Is I get a different look at athletes. I mean, I have all kinds of athletes. I have young athletes, Division Ones,
And
college.
your background is you're like a chiropractor now.
Yeah,
Just
so
to establish that for
sports
our audience.
chiropractor.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, so I took extra training because the sports world of chiropractic is, was fascinating to me because that's where all the research was. Because, all these athletes get injured all the time, and so I have a different viewpoint.
How did you get your entry point into working with these top level athletes? How did you get on the map?
Oh yeah, so there's a special certification called certified chiropractic sports physician. It's by the American Board of sports physicians, and Dr. Moreau is like the president, and he was in the Olympics and everything. So he's like the chiropractic advocate. But so that's why.
How'd you get into his world?
The president, the wax on and wax off, Mr. Miyagi, he introduced me into that. So when I got all the research, I was like, wow, this is really cutting edge, and that's where I wanted to go. So now I see all different kinds of people, and since I'm in Scottsdale, I do get some professional athletes that walk into my office.
People who are currently playing, or people who used to play, or what? Or
a little bit of both.
Okay.
I get people playing now, people that are like retired pros, all different kinds of.
Have you ever had like direct relationship with a team or anything like that?
No. I
That's something
could
you'd like to do.
Well, for me as the family guy, like I can't travel like that.
Gotcha.
But for someone that was single, like, yeah, I would definitely be able to travel. But I do get an interesting look at them because I'm seeing them through a medical lens, right? And it kind of ties into what we were talking about earlier, how, they kind of want like the whole piece of the pie right now. So
How does that relate to your work? The
Right.
whole piece of the pie. How does that relate?
yeah, so actually you get to see the actual injuries they have, whereas like, say one person, weekend warrior might have like one herniated disc. These guys have like 4 or 5. And, they're playing through their injuries. It's not like, oh, I just have like a sprained ankle. It's like, oh, I tore like 3 ligaments in my ankle and my knee.
And you were talking a little bit with Tom. We'll come back to this in our next segment. You were talking to Tom a little bit about comparing old era athletes to new era athletes. And I want to get to that in this conversation. So let's start off the next segment with that. We are the young reporters, the older version. Stay with us. We'll be right back after the short break.
The Arizona Grand Gala of Stars, presented by the Hartley Dance Project and Studio R Ballet.
This September 5th, 2026, experience an extraordinary evening of world-class artistry at the historic Orpheum Theatre in downtown Phoenix.
It's a historic performance that combines the top dance students in Arizona with the world's biggest stars of dance, all in one magical theatre.
This unforgettable performance celebrates the beauty, passion, and power of dance.
There are moments that move us, moments where music, movement, and emotion become one. Featuring original compositions by award-winning international recording artist Alan Ripa. Also, the dynamic, classically trained, pop-influenced string trio, Simply 3.
Saturday, September 5th at 7 p.m.
Tickets available now at hartleydanceproject.com.
Hi, this is Tom Woodward, and I'm here with the old version of the Young Reporters with our hosts Bob Fishman and Alan Ripa.
Welcome back to Young Reporters. My name is Joan Tillman. I'm your host for the moment.
You sure are.
And I'd like to get
Most entertaining person in the studio, by the way.
Absolutely today. Must be. But I'd like to get back to Dr. Doug and ask him a question. In your practice, do you see many young athletes?
Yeah, so I have a pretty interesting practice. It's pretty blended. So I actually have people that my youngest, I think, is 1 year old, and my oldest is 97.
Oh my God.
That's
So
range.
yeah, I do see a little bit of both. The younger ones are fun to see too, because they come in and that's my opportunity to kind of like give them some tips, because if you want to be good, you got to do A, B, and C. Make sure you see a chiropractor.
Did you say the 1 year old?
Yeah.
So that must be bottle elbow or something. What would they have? What would be the problem?
Oh yeah, a lot of people actually ask that.
They're straining their
Yeah,
elbow.
because you have tennis elbow, you'd have bottle elbow.
Yeah, so a lot of people ask that, like, what's wrong with like a 1 year old?
Listen, I'm on fire.
Well, you're awake today. You're really awake today.
I'm fire.
Go ahead, Doc. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Hey, Alan, you got to listen to every word because you don't know where it's going to
Never know what is going to happen, right?
Yeah. So the bottle elbow. You've dealt with the bottle elbow.
No, not bottle elbow, but kids actually, if you break down the birthing process, it's actually pretty traumatic.
Oh, that's it.
Especially during something like a C-section where they're being ripped out of the womb basically. And kids, they fall more than us.
This is even 1 year olds, they need chiropractic work, maybe.
Yeah, they're falling, tumbling, we just think it's they're fine because they're made of elastic, right? But no, actually, a lot of kids can actually really benefit from chiropractic.
You do treat 1 to 97.
Yes, sir.
Before we get my next question here, you're going to have to. Your job right now, Doc, is to calm Alan down next to you because he's out of control. Okay, but he's turning red. So, Doc, related to this conversation we're having between shows, or whatever, do you, when I talk with Tom about old era athletes versus new era athletes, is there a difference in terms of that they get injured in more ways in this era than they did in the old? Or what do you think? What might be the difference between what? And Tom, you experienced this as being the ball boy for the New York Knicks in the Bill Bradley era, right?
When the Garden was Eden.
When the Garden was Eden. So do you think that there's a big difference between athletes nowadays versus 50 years ago?
Actually, in the sports medicine world, we talk a lot about, different injuries, how to prevent things. So like concussion is a really, really big deal.
It was on the radar back when.
Right, yeah. So it wasn't back on the radar back then, but so eventually that led to, in football, it led to changing tackle technique. We've learned over the years, concussion can, we're trying to take a bigger stand with it. And, once somebody has a concussion, no, you're not going back in. That's a huge deal because you can get second impact syndrome, which is they could die on the field. So concussion's a really, really big deal.
You were talking about other things like where people are coming in with multiple disc issues,
yes.
or whatever. And so is that newer to more aggressive, maybe bigger money salaries? So people in order to get to that big money, they put more.
More umph into it,
into making it to the highest level as fast as they can.
Yeah. So that's the thing. When you're trying to compete and you're going at a really high level, so I talked to one person, a basketball player, and I asked him about Kobe Bryant, and I said, because I was like, hey, what do you guys do day to day? And turns out they actually still work. They still go to work. They work typically 6 hours a day.
And by work, you mean practicing or lifting weights or what?
Yes.
The whole bit?
So
back in the era,
they still have stuff they have to do.
Tom, back in the old era, the weight room wasn't as big a deal then, right? The baseball players weren't as big. The muscle, everything was different.
I don't think they were as rigorous.
Yeah.
After a game, Dave DeBuscher would knock back a couple of beers.
Yeah, right.
It was a different time.
Yeah, so you witnessed some of that, right?
Oh, sure, sure. Okay. As far as what other training they did, I do know Bill Bradley, who I became close with, as you know, post-basketball with his political career when he became a senator. But he got to a point as he got older he said, I couldn't stop training. He had to keep training because getting back into shape was so difficult. Mm-hmm. But I think it's at a whole different level.
In the old days, maybe off season, you would get out of shape and have to get, that was more standard back then, probably.
Right.
I comment everyone else. I used to follow sports like crazy. I've distanced myself because it's just too much money involved in every aspect. Whereas the salaries or the ownership, the $12 billion to buy the Lakers in the last week or so has been proposed. To me, as a fan, the effect of ESPN on sports, the effect of the money on sport, the effect of sports gambling on everything is so. Aaron, were you ever subject to the post-game drinking or the being influenced?
Boy, we're going back into.
So she drank during the game.
Being influenced by the sports bettors that were trying to get you to not be as effective on your 3-point shots ever. Every experience you experienced at Country Day School and in your history of athleticism?
I mean, I did hear some rumors that people were making bets in the stands, but I never got bribed at all. Drink lots of water during the game.
Oh, that's
yeah.
good. That's very good. So
Yeah.
you were like a really good shooting guard, right?
Yeah, I was a shooting guard.
And your teammates kept feeding you opportunities. And
Yep, I just had to play really good defense and then go to my spot in 3-point corners and
And
shoot my shot when it came.
So,
yeah.
like, what was your high point total in the game?
Oh, I don't know if I ever crossed 20. Probably like a high game would be like a 13, 15, something
in high
like
school,
that.
what's the typical high score in high school?
Like a total game score.
Yeah.
Well,
For an individual player.
for an individual player, like a really good player can do like 20 points a game.
And
I
Tom,
would
as a parent,
say.
you watched plenty of those games. Your sons were like athletes like crazy, right?
Yes.
And
they-
was your daughters any athletic at all?
Yeah, Caroline was the best athlete of my kids.
Is that
she was
right?
off the
Yeah.
charts.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
her high water mark. She did AAU track and field and came in third nationally in the pentathlon. And
so
so
that's
she's
pretty
I've been
good.
around a lot. Yeah,
Yeah,
she was good. She was fun to
yeah.
watch.
And by the way, speaking of it, so we've had Aaron's father in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're watching Aaron the basketball game, is that fun? Is it tense? What is it like as a parent watching the game?
You know, it depended on the game and the situation. It's so interesting with my three kids.
Your son was a fabulous hitter. Oh my God!
He was a good athlete, and I was not as I guess one of the most tense things is being a parent watching your kid pitch. And Caroline was a pitcher. My son Tommy and my son Brian was also a pitcher. Tommy, I worried about when he was younger. Would he walk in a run before he struck out the side, or how was that going to work out? But I was pretty relaxed for the most part with Caroline and Brian. They were under control. They had that kind of mentality.
My brother is traveling a lot, enjoying every moment of his experience. And it's got to be nerve-wracking. I mean,
yeah. It's hard. Yeah. Sometimes it's worse being a parent in the stands.
So, Alan, you have a big athletic background in your life, right?
Oh, huge. I'm a highly trained, highly tuned athlete. You can't tell. I walk 4 miles every morning.
Oh, that's right. You are. That's
pretty good.
What? Alan, part of
Oh,
Alan's
excuse me.
reputation-
Did we forget about that?
I'm just saying. I'm glad you remind me. Alan is known as the mayor of McCormick Ranch.
Walkway.
And he's
Not
very insistent,
sidewalk.
Not sidewalk.
Kelly
the walkway.
was really pushing the sidewalk, and
Kelly Randall, our chief correspondent,
Yeah,
takes us
love-
into this ASU Sky Song studio thanks to her relationship with Kim Reynolds. But so she doesn't get your title correct, is that right?
love her to pieces, but that was a non-starter for us, and she couldn't get over the sidewalk versus the walkway
There's
issue.
a difference, right?
And I said, I just don't see any future in our,
the
long-term.
walkway is like the major leagues to the minor leagues.
Correct.
Sidewalk, right?
Sidewalks are like, by streets and things, and this walkway
Aaron,
is.
is there any of this that applies to your upcoming first day at college? Any of this at all that might relate?
I think all of this is useful.
You're very
That's
kind.
the right answer. That's a very good
She's
answer.
very kind.
Good.
You're going to go very far in life with this kind of attitude. You
No, I gotta stay exercise. Gotta give peace of mind that way, and yeah, maybe I should walk 4 miles every morning.
You
If you
ultimately-
say it's a good idea.
So, Aaron, every morning you see me at the coffee shop.
I do see him in the morning a lot. Yeah,
do?
I've
You actually
already-
see him?
I see him several times a week. In the
I never
morning.
get to see Alan except in the studio.
No.
He's very well
because-
liked in the coffee shop.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. It's so funny because that's after my 4 miles. And you see on how vibrant I am.
I've just gotten up.
in
Yeah,
the coffee shop more so in the studio. More so than the studio.
I see him a ton in the. I have for years. Yeah,
Every morning it's like I've got a whole.
You're at the same coffee shop when he's.
yeah. We go
there.
to Village Coffee Roastery.
It's the best.
It's by his McCormick
Joan, I
Ranch
think you need to go to
Greenbelt.
this. I think you need to go to this coffee shop, okay? Just I think it'd be a.
That's where I first started doing a podcast. That's where I was talking with my friend Wayne. And this gentleman came in, sat down, and he heard us talking. He turned around and said, "Wow, you guys should do a podcast." And I thought, "Oh, I've got the."
You actually believe them, right?
I thought I could do it. I've got the old school equipment, which would be a lot.
And you are the only,
But
theoretically, the only mobile podcaster
Yeah.
up and running right now, right? Maybe.
In the universe. And so that's what I looked online. I saw the equipment has changed. So I bought it. And it's funny because I saw him the next day. I said, I bought the equipment. We're going to start a podcast here in the coffee shop. Lisa was stoked on it. And
You know Lisa?
Oh, yeah.
And then we've never seen the guy again. So it's like he came in and gave me the message, and that's how we are here today on a podcast coming from Lisa's shop. From that guy just saying you should do a podcast.
He has no idea.
This almost sounds like a biblical or Book of Mormon type story.
Oh, no.
They said is my Clarence, Clarence from It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
Like my Clarence came in and gave me
That
the
was
message, and look it's changed my whole direction in my incredible life.
Yeah, but it's put a lot of strain. Believe me, I can tell. Staying awake is hard.
Not for him, I don't think. I think he's in the coffee shop too long. That's why he's so animated.
There's been a lot of strain, Bob. He's 22. Can you just look at him?
Got the coffee and the IV going in.
So Tom, get us back to Tom, because you've had an interesting.
I've really enjoyed these segments where I get to talk because I do so many shows where I'm lost back here in the corner.
Well, it's no wonder you fall asleep.
Listen, I've gone a year of in the corner, and all the focus is down on his end. And
More coffee.
You're the one controlling the camera.
I never get to say anything, so
Well, it's about time.
I want
about time.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think it took Aaron and Doug and Joan, the most animated person in the studio, to bring it out of you. Come on.
Finally.
All right, so Aaron, back to college as we're going. This is the Farewell to Aaron show. Just so you know, August 19th, 1926, the Off to College Aaron show. Okay, 2 shows actually.
Why don't you do a remote location in Aaron's dorm room? We could bring the whole studio there.
That the mobile studio goes to Claremont.
Hey, Aaron, we can do it. We can go there.
I'm sure you would. Yeah, I don't doubt you.
You do the connecting work at Claremont.
We'll go.
Yeah,
I'll go.
we'll
I'll pack the car right now, and then I'll fill it up with gas, and we'll head over there.
Just make sure you bring coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very important.
and find the nearest walkway to the campus. Not a sidewalk, but a walkway.
Walkway.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're covering all this ground really well in this segment right here. Is this segment 3 or 2? What is it? I'm not.
I don't know. Oh my God, we're 2 minutes past. We
I guess I better go to break.
We gotta go break. We're way over.
That's the falling asleep part of the coffee. So we are the Young Reporters, the older version, with an extended segment this segment. We'll be back after this short break. Stay with us.
That's why they never let him
for the
speak.
music.
We need some music, yeah. We need to get some music cue here. But it was a great segment, and it's off to Claremont
Off
segment
to college.
for Aaron. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is Sister Margaret Wright, a Sister of Mercy, and I'm here with the older version of the Young Reporters. I'm here with Bob Fishman and Alan Ripa.
All right, welcome back to the Young Reporters. This is your host for segment 3, Aaron Patterson, and I have a question for Dr. Doug. Going back to the practice, I had a lot of experience just being in high school sports with like the psychology that goes behind like getting injured and just how difficult that can be for some people. Like, what have you noticed over the years? Just how do you help people with that sort of mental aspect?
With getting over the
Any sort of
psychological block
injury, yeah.
or any injury.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually pretty interesting because typically with like athletes that are trying really hard, I actually have to slow them down as far as like treatment because, I could tell them like, okay, I want you to jump up and down and do 10 jumping jacks and then run around the building, and they'll go do it. Mm-hmm. And they're like, I did it 10 times. I'm like, well, I just said once. But so that's typically what we have to do. I would say the most interesting things, if you guys want to watch like cutting edge treatments, watch any of like the stuff for like Red Bull. They only take like 2% of the sport, the top 2%. And some of the stuff that they do in when they're getting treated and stuff, there are some really, really cool treatments going on because you as a physician, you're kind of making it up in a way that you're adding more different things to like the treatment. So say like an example would be, I think for basketball, they put like spikes on the rim, or it got like the rim got smaller and smaller, and they had to like keep sinking the basket, right? Or they would like throw them on like something like, a vibration plate, or have someone kind of pushing them a little bit while they're, trying to sink baskets. So
you're taking, I don't know this. I mean, I know Red Bull is a drink. I don't know what the Red Bull is a sponsor for this type of event and this type of competition?
Yeah, they only take like the very top couple percent of the athletes in each sport.
Hey, I have a question. I don't know if I missed it in one of the segments, but have the injuries, like over the past 50 years, have they changed? Like, are there a different type of injury that were back in, say the 30s compared to now? So they're getting injured, but are these injuries different types of injuries? Like it's a different pressure. It's a different pressure on the body that's causing a different type of injury.
I wouldn't necessarily say that like the injuries have changed. I would say that the way that we approach them has changed, and that we're more on the preventative side. So, like with tackle technique, that will, like I said before, so that was a big change in how we kind of approached. Tackle technique was changed.
In other words, don't lead with your head type of thing on the tackle. That
yeah.
So
it was like no spearing. So like it's more like you have to keep your chest up and that kind of stuff.
So that helps prevent some injuries, right?
Right. Yeah. So that's always evolving. I mean, there's all these conferences around the world where they talk about certain injuries, and I mean concussion's a huge one, and there's all these really people smarter than me.
One of the things, this is a side thing, because I want Aaron's sort of in charge of this segment, but basically it's like we were having this conversation earlier, and I wanted to make the point that the Big Ten, not my favorite conference in the world, even though some of the West Coast teams, that's the biggest. I don't understand a conference being built on the number 10, and they can't count how many teams they've got. I don't understand that. It seems to me that might be a university I might want to avoid if you can't realize you're more than 10. So anyway, but the point is that the Big Ten took basketball and made it into a football sport, Tom. And you know what I'm talking about. It took big people playing onto the court, and with referees that go along with the idea that these aren't fouls, the type. And so when it comes time for the NCAA tournament, the Big Ten generally plays a different kind of basketball than most other conferences. It's more of a boring game because it's kind of like football and the basketball. I'm going to get ripped for this one, I'm sure, but I don't care. but the point is that I think maybe that's part of what you're talking about, is that you're getting big people playing the sports, bigger people than used to play the sports in different sports even. Like, so you get football-sized guys playing basketball, and there's probably different basketball injuries based upon that.
Yeah, I mean, so I would say a lot of the training in upper elite level people, they have also changed, because especially in the sports medicine world, we're always trying to figure out how to tweak their diet or something in order to give them just that much, like the smallest edge more. I mean, so that's why I actually broke down Michael Phelps' diet in school. Is pretty fun how we talk about why he's eating these certain foods and what's going on, because that can you can increase performance based off what you're eating.
I'm just saying, do you have something for another guest or something?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we
please
can.
Go right ahead. Take a shower.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
I have all the power.
You do.
Wow.
It's your going away party, kind of.
Yeah, no,
so,
this is
like,
great.
so feel free.
Yeah, I guess I will ask Tom. So you had three kids, athletes, everything. Did they have any major injuries throughout their time?
They had a few along the way. Brian had a broken hand in his senior year, second of his senior year in high school football. That kind of changed his trajectory from a recruiting perspective.
Was it Brian that went to North Dakota or whatever?
South Dakota. University of South Dakota. He was recruited as a quarterback, but he didn't have a lot of film. He had a 4-star quarterback that was a junior that was when Brian was a junior, who was a senior, and so he didn't get a chance to play at his primary position until his senior year. And then the second game of the season, he played both ways, offense and defense. He broke a bone in his non-throwing hand, so that kind of impacted his career that way. But he was pretty fortunate. He had a few things along the way. And then in college, he had a few, got banged up a little bit. It happens.
Just gets worse.
You're right. It doesn't get
Aaron,
better.
did you have any sports injuries, Aaron?
Nothing major. I sprained my ankle like a couple days before our last championship game, which was crazy. And I worked a lot with my...
Were you able to play?
Yeah, I was able to play, and it actually went really well. I didn't think that would happen the day that I heard it. Just like, I think I was just one-on-one with someone else, and landing, you just tweak. It's really easy to do. But I hadn't had that happen before. And the sports person at our school was like really motivated at wanting to help me play in the game, which I thought was nice. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to be helpful on the court or whatever. But a lot of my teammates were like, you'll thank kind of your future self if you like try and work through a lot of this recovery process. And it shocked me a lot, like what I had to do exactly. Like, of course, lots of rest and icing and elevating and things like that. But like, you kind of need to do mobility pretty quickly.
Yeah, so that's actually a pretty interesting thing is the acronym RICE, which stands for Rest, Ice, Compress, Elevate. That's like dinosaur age now, so we don't do that. So it's been replaced by the acronym POLICE. That stands for passive range of motion, so like you're moving your limb. And then the second part is like the most fascinating part. It's optimal loading. So what that basically means...
You know this stuff?
I didn't know the acronym POLICE, but this is totally what...
basically what it means is like, say in a sport, say you can run in a straight line under this new model. You continue to do that. So if you have pain cutting, then you don't cut, right? But if you can run in a straight line, you continue to do that. So we're taking out that rest because the research has shown that, the athletes that are playing through their injuries and stuff, they actually recover faster. So, and then you continue with the ice, compress, and elevate.
Yeah.
So you had a good game.
I had a great game. Yeah, and I'm very happy that I had like.
So now you had that memory of that game.
I have the memory, and it was just nice to have like outside figures like telling you that it was possible, even though I only had like 3 or 4 days, but that like it was. And
this kind of relates to other things in life in general. It's those challenges that make your overcoming the challenge more rewarding. In fact, so the fact that you fought through that injury and got some encouragement that you could do it, because were you pushing yourself to do it, or did you need another push from other people say do it?
I was pushing myself, but I had never really experienced anything like this with such a short time frame where I was like, oh well, like it sucks, but it is what it is. But I had like a couple of my teammates in particular, and my coach and like my parents who were saying like, you might as well try, and like it's going to be a lot more important to play.
Let's end this show on a positive Aaron note, since we it's been like Aaron farewell party day. So I want to just say, Aaron, I would say before you go to Claremont, injure your ankle again. And start out school with a challenge. Joan, you have any advice for her to go off to campus?
Not on that one.
That's good.
I think
let's not do that.
I got enough challenges.
I think she should adopt your philosophy, Bob. That she should ignore her body and suppress her emotions.
No, not that either.
And Alan, any last advice, Alan, before we have to say goodbye to everybody?
No, this is the third segment. We got one more.
We got one more segment. Oh, that's great. I lost it.
Stay on the bus. This is not your stop.
Okay, good. We get to give more advice to Aaron. One more segment. Stay with us.
Hi, this is Aaron Patterson, and you are watching The Young Reporters with Bob Fishman and Alan Ripa.
Welcome back once again to the Young Reporters. This again is Joan Tillman. And this, unfortunately for us, is Aaron Patterson's last segment.
For now.
At least until she gets back from college on visits and things. And I really just...
No, we're gonna have...
we're going there.
We're going to have a
That's right.
road trip, and we're going over there.
Okay.
She's going to get all her friends together, and we're going to do like
She's going to pre-reserve dorm rooms for us, too. It's going to be fabulous. She's going to have dorm rooms waiting for us. They're going to cater.
And she's going to have 15 friends. We can do up to 20 on a podcast. Oh, my gosh, this is going to be epic.
Okay, so Joan's got a comment or something, I think.
Yeah, I do.
It's called a protective order, Erin. You can get that, a protective order to keep them away.
I have almost forgotten what I was going to say.
Please don't, because it's the whole show now. Come on.
Well, I just wanted to give some advice to Erin, and that is, don't change. Don't change. I think you are an absolute delight.
You want her to wear the same outfit the whole time she's a college?
Whatever she wants to do. Whatever she wants to do, I think she'll do it well.
Thank you.
Didn't Joan just prove when I said that she's going to be the most entertaining person on the show this afternoon with that wonderful compliment to Erin? See, you're natural at this, Joan. There you go. So,
thank you so much.
So is that the end of your comment?
Yes.
Do you have anything wonderful like that to say to Tom?
Yeah.
She wants me to change as much as possible after the experience.
Well, Bob set the tone that this segment was a free-for-all, so go for it.
Okay, well, this is,
give a comment all around the table. Why not?
You mentioned that your background was New Jersey, New York, and Philadelphia.
Correct.
Did you ever have an accent from that part of it?
Not really. People oftentimes will say that, and the part of New Jersey that I came from was kind of a non-accent place. There's certain words that I've picked up from my friends from the Midwest that we pronounce differently, and I think incorrectly. So when you have that piece of citrus that I would call an orange, pronounced A-R, when my Midwestern friends would be orange, I said, oh, that's correct. So I modified a few things along the way, but it wasn't pronounced.
I was asking that because my father's family was from Philadelphia principally.
Right.
And
they have a very distinct accent.
But he didn't.
Oh, he didn't? Interesting.
His brother did.
Okay.
And one of his sisters did. But the other sister, ended up in the Midwest too, and it was just interesting. I was just curious to know.
Since you brought
some
up,
of my cousins still have the New
since you
Jersey
brought
accent.
up, since you brought up the concept of don't change to Erin, would you suggest the same thing to Doc? Like, don't change, Doc. You're perfect the way you are. Or you have any change comments for Doc?
How about me?
For Alan, yeah.
You need more than one segment to cover that ground.
So apparently.
No, seriously, Joan, you're part of the team. You know that? You're part of the team.
No, I seriously think that Doug's approach to his business and his practice is really, really excellent.
You like that, huh?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, I'm humbled by that. Thank you.
You. I think you're looking at the whole person.
Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah. So that's a big thing that we do. That's evidence-based medicine. So, and that's a holistic approach. So, a lot of people get that word actually confused. So there's naturalistic.
Is that spelled W-H or just H?
Just H.
Just H, okay.
Yeah, so
That's
holistic means treat the whole person as a whole.
Yeah, you want to use W-H-O-L-E.
Right.
It's spelled H-O-L whatever.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's a whole book on that, actually. It's called Whole. And it talks about the fact that there's so much concentration on doctors actually concentrating on one area that they forget to look at the whole person when they're trying to treat them.
That's a big deal.
Well, I think you haven't been to when you come to his office, you haven't been there yet, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you come to his office, you get a glimpse of it is very organic. There's a lot of stuff going on there, and Doc is sort of in the middle rooms when he's working on a patient, and it's a free flowing. It's kind of like this podcast show in terms of you never know what's going to be happening, and he's going to be like kind of the conversation is going to flow around him. It seems like, and whoever he's working with, and so and it does reflect. I mean, not everybody gets to be on this show, and he caught my attention, and his people speak so highly of him. That's kind of why I wanted to get him on the show.
How big is the staff?
He has a staff.
I can have up to like 5 or 6 massage therapists, and then I also have a PA, and I have a front desk, and my wife helps me out in back office stuff.
I need a little help from the standpoint. I have a hard time every once in a while separating this person from that person, and you got very nice people, and I feel all guilty as heck when I can't remember people's names or I'm confused. So you have to get me a little more like on. Even including your wife, is Christy, right?
Yeah, everyone.
Christy's very, very nice.
It was funny because I had a blonde up at the front one time, and everyone thought she was my wife. I'm like, no, it's the other blonde.
Yeah, it's hard keeping your women straight, I'm sure. So Alan, you were looking for a comment on what you need to change or not, right?
Yeah.
From Joan?
I'm always looking to improve. So any suggestions? I have a friend that's a plastic surgeon, and she gave me a tour of her facility. And then as I was in the lobby, I said to her, is there anything you can do with me? And she just said, lowered her head. No, Alan, there's nothing I can do for you. So
Well, Alan, I think you're a multifaceted wonder.
Wow.
That's a compliment.
That is.
Can I get back to you on that once I get it figured out as
Okay.
what
Let's
that
hope
means?
it's a compliment.
All right, so let's get so any other first week of college memories or experiences from our esteemed panel? Something that's Alan, because you went to ASU, right? So
I did.
And were you a commuter, or were you on campus when you were going?
As a commuter, I was living up at 40th Street and Cactus, and I had a motorcycle. I would ride. It was a 750 Suzuki, which was a awesome
That's a
bike.
big bike.
Yeah,
60 years ago.
4-cylinder, very fast, and. Anyway, but the music building opened at 6 a.m. and closed at midnight. And so I would come down here. I'd be at 6 a.m. into the building, and then I'd leave at midnight.
Was music your major?
It was. I had music as a major and a minor in aviation and sociology. So aviation was on the east side of the campus. Sociology was the middle, and then music was down on the Mill
you
Avenue
covered the whole
side.
campus?
I did.
And so, Aaron, did you have any music background in your life? You
I
do,
did,
right?
yeah.
She plays the piano.
I played the
so
piano.
Talk about that
for
a little bit.
a really
So,
long time.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, that was actually one of the first ways like Alan and I connected a little bit was he learned that I played the piano. I started when I was 4 years old. My mom thought it'd be a good idea just
Did you get piano elbow at all?
I didn't. No,
you never-
chiropractor needed.
Never had that, huh?
Some figure
You could have been one of the younger
issues. Yeah.
patients. So 4 years old.
Yeah,
okay.
4 years old. My mom, she wanted me to play a sport. She wanted me to do the instrument, just like get the mind working in all these different ways. And yeah, piano turned out to be such a wonderful thing for me. Just, I did the whole like practicing a long time during the day, concerts, stuff like that. And then once I hit high school, I had a couple other focuses and I just didn't really have the time anymore. And it was getting a little stressful. So I like pulled back a little bit and was like, I'm going to continue playing, but like just for myself. And so I still would meet with my teacher on Zoom once a week because she had since moved away from Arizona. She actually went to ASU too. But yeah, it was really nice. And I've since stopped just because college, it's really hard to keep that up. But
we should get a music sample from Aaron, Ellen, and use that as
In the show.
occasional transition music in the
Sure.
show or something like that. Or,
Yeah, can you send that to me?
or even as a promo, have her playing the piano.
Yeah.
Speaking about the welcome back to Young Report or something like that, or yeah, we gotta use all your skill sets
Oh,
while you
yeah.
still have them.
I know before I lose my
Before you
my
lose
touch on the piano.
before anything bad happens.
Yeah.
So like, are you as good at the piano as an occasional player as you were full time, or how long does it take you to get back to your full skill?
It would probably just take like a couple weeks or a month. I had a couple like longer breaks in the summer, just going on trips. And piano is one of the things where if you start playing again, like it kind of comes back to you a little bit. Maybe not after several decades, but.
And what was your?
I would do lots of classical. My teacher was a core believer in like learn kind of the history, learn like where it all started. This is like brilliant minds who created these.
If Alan took you back in to like teach you a little bit of smooth jazz, could you help revive his
I
career in smooth
love
jazz? Would that be
jazz.
something that'd be possible? that you could do a duet with Aaron and maybe a younger movement maybe?
It could be a Zoom call. You can do it.
I think I don't want to give you too many assignments for your freshman.
Or I could, schedule it and drive over and give you a lesson, and then, I could drive back.
That's kind of excessive fees probably involved in that.
Yeah.
But I think she should be your partner in the revival of smooth jazz. How's that?
Well, I've moved beyond the smooth jazz. I'm doing different stuff now.
What do you call the thing? It's not what do you call what you're doing right now? What do you call that? And as you just
it's
showed me, we got about
interesting.
2 minutes, so you're going to have to figure out what you're going to say in 2 minutes.
And it's even shorter now. But I'm now have implemented using AI in the assistance in creating music. And I stumbled on this a couple of weeks ago. It was by accident. And once I got an idea of like what could be done, I started figuring out what I was doing with the animation. I transferred what I was doing with animation and did it with the music, and
So is that going to be considered legitimate use of talent in the future? Is it going to be a separate category? How are they going to treat this stuff?
So how it comes out
And
is
you got about a minute right now. Maybe.
yeah. Thank you. Here, you want to?
No, I don't.
I'll move it down there for you. So what happens is that you're prompting. Right. So all these techniques and stuff that I've learned, I'm just writing.
So you're becoming you're part of the creative process in that respect.
I'm telling it that I want to hear the horn section. I want to hear this. And then I'd hear it. So for me to get one song, it maybe takes 10 times. Because
so it becomes your agent. They keep using the word agent. Your AI agent.
I become a music producer. Yeah, actually, okay. I'm telling them what I want to hear. And so basically you're writing and telling it. So like on some of the songs, I just say, I want the hook to be at the beginning. So I wrote is make the hook at the beginning. And I got that when I was a little kid from Paul McCartney. He said, you put the hook at the beginning, help, I need somebody.
Gotcha.
Oh, I don't sing though.
You just did a good job.
But anyway,
you did a good job.
So this new thing with AI is new. What do you call it? Approach.
Yeah, I think it's excellent. I think you explained sort of as a new creative process. I think that's the way to view it, probably. And so speaking of new creative processes, we need updates from you from campus, okay? And
yes.
And I think that to hear more of that first week, that first month, I think it's the best time in life when you're going to college. So have a great farewell to Aaron. We are the Young Reporters. I'm Bob Fishman along with Alan Ripa. We got Erin Patterson's been with us the whole time. Our farewell party to her. Jennifer Conner was with us from the start. Dr. Doug Morris, Tom Woodward, Joan Suzanne Tillman. Thank you all for being here today, and thank you out there in the listening audience. We do a show without you, but we love when you're watching us. Thank you very much.
Hi, this is Dr. Sky, and you are tuned into the Young Reporters with Bob Fishman and Alan Ripa.